All right, welcome to this new live stream with me, Karina Hagen. I am having a guest meet today. Her name is Dr. Valencia Moses. She will share her success story on how she created a successful coaching practice. And this is in a series that we're doing at COACHILLY to share how other people got started in coaching. And if you want to get on here, just comment in the videos below or contact us directly on the COACHILLY website. And now I'm going to add to the show Valencia Moses, Dr. V. Hi, how are you doing?
Great.
So great to have you here today.
Yeah, so glad to be here. Super thankful for this opportunity. Love the name of COACHILLY and the chili pepper.
Yeah, thank you so much. Oh, that's the first time somebody said that. That's refreshing, actually. Valencia, can I say Valencia? Should I say Dr. V? Which one do you prefer?
I kind of prefer Dr. V, and
Dr.
the
V.
super quick story, I actually got all of my education paid for, and so I like to honor that. And I also have a late brother that, like 6 years before I earned my degree, he used to always call me Doc. And so that's why I go by Dr. V. Save you a few syllables. I have a long name. So thank you so much.
Very well. Dr. V it is. And you're a success mentor. I want to hear more about that in a minute. But before we go there, how did you get started in coaching? What inspired you to become a coach?
I had a really powerful experience learning more about my strengths. So I was in like an internship with a nonprofit, and we took the Clifton Strengths Assessment, which is commonly known as Strengths Finder. And I had taken it before, can't tell you what my results were. I'm a nerd like that. I love taking those kinds of tests. And so we were talking about our results, and I just had this powerful moment where I was able to own who I am, what makes me unique, and really found freedom from comparing myself, to other successful family members. And I realized that the experience I was having is something that I would want to help others experience. So that really motivated me to want to formalize becoming a coach, because in part of that reflection, I realized I've been coaching people informally for like 20 years, so as part of my journey of knowing myself and learning myself, it's like, I've been coaching. Why not make it official?
That's great. And it seems to be a common thread, right? When we experience coaching for ourselves and we realize how powerful something is, we want to help others. That's a common thread that I have realized with other coaches, what got them started. They had a breakthrough in their lives. They thought, this is phenomenal. I love helping others achieve the same. And that's how they get started. That's great. And I've done the Clifton Strength Finder. This is, oh God, maybe 10 years ago now, and I still like feed on that. It really had an impact. Yeah, that's really great. So that inspired you to get into coaching. And what got you started in becoming a coach then?
Right. So after that powerful experience, it wouldn't go away. You know how you like have an idea drop in your mind and it just stays there. So this idea of becoming a coach stayed there. And yes, I have my PhD in education. I have a lot of like experience per se, but I wanted to have the backing of the people who did the test. So I did the research. I found out when they were going to have a training, and I kid you not, cannot make this up. I was going to postpone going through training until 2020.
Oh,
We all know what 2020 ended up being, so I'm so glad I didn't. And what almost kept me from going through the training was like almost wanting to be a sucker for convenience. Oh, well, if I wait, till it's closer to me And I end up having what I like to call my moment. Like when you read about successful people, famous people, and they have this moment where they're all in, do whatever it takes. That was my moment because I had a friend getting married in Kansas City. And I was like, well, I know I want to go to her wedding, but the training that would work for my schedule was in Michigan. So my moment involved driving 9 hours after her wedding, doing an overnight in a hotel, and then pretending I was a person with a 2 hour commute to make it in time for a training. And that was my all in moment. So I went through training with Gallup in July of 2019. I passed the certification test with them to become a Gallup certified strengths coach in August, and started my business in September of 2019. So I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary.
That's really good. Yeah, congratulations. That's an achievement. Yeah, that
Ew.
deserves celebration. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now that you're, a while into this and you've been thriving, you're, successful, and if you look back at what you've learned so far, what would you pass on to other coaches watching this, right? What would be the biggest contributor to your success, or maybe something that you wish you wouldn't have done, something you've learned from?
Well, there's a popular meme out there that says progress over perfection. So if I had to create a soundbite, that would be it. Progress over perfection. And so there's this procrastination, there's this stagnation that comes when we're sitting around thinking about, well, I'm not ready yet, or I need to, get a professional photographer and all this other stuff. So it took me probably a year and a half before I just owned the fact that my edge as a coach is being personable, choosing that over being polished. And
Mm.
what I mean by that is that it can be intimidating because
Oh.
you're out there on the internet, you're on social media, and you see people and their stuff looks great. Like, and when you're just starting out, that can help you to not act. And so I just encourage people, especially those of you tuning in, I encourage you to get started. You can clean it up, you can edit later. And if nothing else, you'll have footage, you'll have documentation of where you started versus where you end up. And another thing, because I was kind of in that mode, I had ideas that weren't fleshed out, and I took a risk. So I took some time. I thought about the people in my network that I felt would be safe people, like safe for me to fail. Like if I failed, they would be kind to me, or I could handle the failure. Hope that makes sense. So basically, those are the people I reached out to. And I literally went on LinkedIn and I did a version of, hey, I had this idea, and I gave a little bit of, the beginnings of that idea. When I get this like more together, would you be interested in hearing more? And everybody responded and said yes. And I was shocked. And then that created pressure to flesh out the idea and get back with them. And one of my I got at least 2 or 3 contracts out of starting with what I had, working with people within my network who were safe enough for me to fail with, and got pleasantly surprised. And so activating my network sooner is something that I would have done. And I'm doing better with it now. So I intentionally set aside time to think about, well, what spaces am I in already? And how can I reach out? What would that look like? So yeah, progress over perfection, and start with the people that it's kind of like safe to fail with. You probably won't fail. That's kind of the funny part. Just because we learn so much as we go about doing it versus you'll never have perfect conditions. So, don't delay, act and you'll learn. You'll literally live and learn. You'll grow through what you go through.
That's really good. Yeah, I was going to create one of those captions here, but let me see here if we can put it up here. Progress over perfection. That's really, really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I heard as you were speaking, the progress over perfection and really not having something polished. You mentioned it could be intimidating. You know what? That's very interesting. It's also a little bit of a turnoff when it looks like you're the newscaster, right? Everything is, a production. And I think, especially during the pandemic, I have seen more and more, even of those professionals that you have seen before that had like absolutely professional backgrounds. I mean, this looks professional, perhaps.
I like it.
I thought it looked fun. It's Roy Lichtenstein, right? And I'm a big fan of him, so I thought I'd put his artwork up. But I'm not gonna green screen things, and so I decided early on too. It doesn't have to be all polished. I don't have to take all the ahs and ums out, right? And an interaction like this one is more natural than something that's completely polished, obviously. But I also realize that because it can be a turn off, you can make more of a connection perhaps with your audience if they see, oh, that person does have expertise in an area, but she or he is just human.
Yeah.
Still human. I'm not talking to somebody who would just, cut out every imperfection, every and has it all down. It can be very intimidating. It can be a turnoff and maybe lead to people not signing up with you. Right?
Yeah, I've seen some stuff. I'm going to say this in the nicest possible way, but there have been some experiences where people have put forth a very polished presentation, and I signed up for whatever they were doing. And it was like, oh my gosh, you do not have your stuff together. You put all the money into the look and not into the substance. And that really helped me to celebrate, you know what? I'm personable over polished. And, I'd rather have a good service, just because coaching is a service, and have people have a great experience and be willing to, ask, well, hey, you're telling me this. Would you put that on Google My Business? Here's a link to my Google review, and have a good experience that they're willing to, share. I'd rather have that right now, especially in the early stages of my business, than basically investing the money that probably is involved in having that super polished presentation. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the aesthetics. I love the optics part. But that helped me to not get stuck and inactive. It helped me to just move forward in going after the goals for our business.
I think that's probably for, because I'm opening a can of worms if I say, what actually contributes to you building your business. What I mean when I say that is the product you actually sell, what gets you people in the door and grows your business. Obviously, a polished production got, someone to sign you up. Mm-hmm. You did sign up. But is this something that creates a sustainable business for you? If you put all the effort into that, and you said substance is really important. So if you have a coaching program, or if you have, all the materials you need in order to help somebody coach properly, you're equipped, you're trained up in the coaching methodology, right? I think that counts more, because at the end of the day, you owe it to your customers to deliver value. They pay because they need your help, and you want to deliver value every time you talk to them, and not just on the first discussion that you had or the first presentation you gave. And so I think that's a really important thing to remember. Yeah, I think we owe that to people. That's ethics to me.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Let me see. So, one more question. So, do I have two more? What's the funniest or maybe most inspiring story that you had with a client?
Well, oh my gosh. Anytime I have clients in high school or early in college, there will be laughter and moments, even if they're just for me, where it's like, oh my gosh, you are so young. You have no clue. There's so much more world out there. But one of the things that came to mind when you asked that, I had a powerful moment. Every now and then I coach people with, I guess, pro bono, but these are people in my network typically who are just, I love what they're doing and them going after their goals. And I want to have coaching be more accessible. So there was a person in my network and I wanted to encourage her through coaching. And in one of our first sessions, she said, like, wow, you just really helped me sort through my thoughts. And I love that phrase. I was like, that's good. Can I use that? And when I'm having a consultation with clients and I'm talking about some of the things that can come through coaching, I use that phrase that I help people sort through their thoughts. And I had a lot of powerful moments partnering with a college and helping kind of promote coaching as a way to encourage self-care and well-being. So in working with like faculty, staff, and students through individual coaching sessions, it was shocking how powerful it is to be a person who listens to others. So having clients say that they felt listened to, and getting to a place of hope, that is, it's priceless and really like affirming and helps me to, just stay encouraged during those moments where, you put some leads out there and you have that initial, you hear back. So someone is a yes, but they haven't taken that step to commit. Because sometimes that's the hard part, playing the waiting game.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's really cool. Sorting through your thoughts, and I think a lot of what happens in a coaching session is, that people do have all the information, but somewhere in there, you get to the bottom of that. That's a really good expression of that. What's one thing you would wish that COACHILLY would add that we would share? Maybe it's a topic to share via video. Maybe it's something that you would like to see on the blog.
Yeah, the thing that comes to mind, I ran across this when I was applying for some grants, and this one particular group gave space for a speaker reel. And it was one of those moments where it's like, I don't have one of those. And, sometimes I can get so focused, especially if it's like an in-person event. I can get so focused on get through the day, like shine, show up, succeed. And then it's like, wait a minute, I took no pictures. There was no video captured. And so when I run across things like that, it becomes like a reminder. So I'll put in some notes like, get a speaker reel, just some video of me in the zone, maybe one with or without audio. And that's one of those things that, it's like, yeah, where do I even begin, to do that? And so that would be great, like to have some coaching around how to make that happen.
Okay. All right. I'll take note of that. Yeah, that's a good topic, actually. Yeah, that's really, really good. Great. Well, we're at the end of our talk. I thoroughly enjoyed this, Dr. V. I really did. This was phenomenal. Yeah, I hope I have you soon again with us. And so I'll talk to you soon again.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.